Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Minecraft the Hard Way. I'm your host, Kieran Dave, and it's been quite a week, hasn't it? We've mastered a certain branches of magic. I mean, all sorts of crazy things we've done. But, like, for example, we can do Lumos. Lots of people have said, Dave, don't you know anything about Harry Potter? I'm deliberately not making the references, but yes, I'm aware of all of the references. We've suffered another invasion by the people Bebop, Vox, Ridge Dog, and Verbal Processing, who came in and they killed my familiar, which is frustrating. Fortunately, my familiar cannot die easily, and I have managed to resummon her. However, Luna has been dismissed, and she is now hiding in the space between worlds, waiting for us. Because, well, we need her to be available for us, but I really don't want them to take revenge. Our demonic tutor, however, seems to be unmolested, and last time I saw was still hiding around here doing stuff. Not really sure where he's off at right now. I'm sure he's around. Well, friends, our next goal is to, after we've mastered demonic magic, we now need to work on necromancy and the spirit world. Now, I've already gotten a fairly good start. If you see, I've got a lot of brews of sleeping, and I can pop over there in just a moment and ask for things. But what we need to do over in the... first, let me explain. I've managed to get this player interface, which is a thing from Random Things, requires a nether star. The goal of it is to basically, instead of putting things into a chest, an inner chest, and then getting them out of the inner chest, what we do instead is we just send it directly to our inventory. So this block here is a proxy for our inventory. If you put something in this hopper, it'll be fed into my inventory. If something gets requested on my red dial, it gets fed into my inventory. People have been asking about that. Turns out that this allows you to sneak things into the spirit world, which normally doesn't have the same inventory as the regular world. That's good. That's good for us. But what we do need to do is go there and take some next steps, because if we want to start working on the next part of magic, which is necromancy, we need to start summoning all sorts of interesting things like spirits, poltergeist, banshees, and to summon them, we need to be able to do lots of things. Like, for example, let's say we want to summon a banshee. We need wormwood, condensed fear, and graveyard dust. Now, wormwood is something we can grow. It's a plant we can mutate. But I think condensed fear is something we have to make in the infusion table using the Brew of Flowing Spirit. The Brew of Flowing Spirit is a little tricky to make. It looks like a simple enough recipe, right? Wools of bat, some fanciful thread, which we'll have to make in a second, some Spanish moss. But there is one thing about this. It can only be made in the spirit world. If we were to check our book here, we can see that it can only be brewed in the spirit world. And it's pretty easy to make otherwise. So we definitely need to be careful about where we try to make this. But what we need to do first is make some fanciful thread. Fanciful thread you get by harvesting cotton, wispy cotton from the dream world. So I've run around and I found a bunch of that. And we're going to make at least a little bit of this stuff. We should have plenty of odor of purities. Yeah, 31, because we've been brewing just a ton of these things. So let's pop up here and go ahead and request. I think the wispy cotton is in the system too. So we should be able to make 2 fanciful thread this way. Now, it's worth noting that we're actually going to request these last 2. We're making 2 of these because we want to have a renewable source of this cotton, and that's a little bit tricky to do right. We need to grow it, and it only grows in the spirit world, and it only grows in the spirit world under certain conditions. So we're going to have to actually be careful about how we set up our spirit world base and improve it over time. Also, the spirit world base may be a nice backup place to start hiding inventories, and maybe even putting some infrastructure in the event that we receive a nuke on the way from Bebop, Vox, and Ridge Dog. Ah, yes, fanciful thread. Now, all right, well, we've gotten everything we need. We have an ice needle on our person. Let's go over to the world of dreams. Oh, wait, do I have any glow globes? I don't. Let me go ahead and grab those before we go. Let's not forget to get those in the system, because it's expensive to go back and forth to the world of the spirit casually. Let's grab one of these and toss them in our system, because let's just grab 2, and we'll toss them into the system before we go. Now, I've got waiting in an ender chest. I've got waiting another remote orderer. There's also a remote orderer just for an ender chest. It's a pink remote orderer that I've got on my person in the spirit world. So I have multiple ways to get the things I need, but let's hope that we get a nice clean dream. Aw, shucks, we got a nightmare. Hey, nightmare. Well, I mean, this is why we bring icy needles. We just have to keep working. Eventually, we'll be able to fix this, but we need at least one good, clean dream. There we go. Here's the clean dream we wanted. Spider, what are you doing? Stay away from us. You too, creeper. So, what we're going to need to do here is basically hop in and set up our own system. So we got that orderer. We'll use this one for now. And we should be fine without armor, I think. This is a dream, after all. We're safe. Mostly safe. It would be nice to have our life ward, though, because you notice it resets our life and even resets our equipment. We don't get to bring our Tinker's equipment to the dream world. Are you going to bother me? No? Okay, cool. What we first need to do is get some water in this bucket and get a little bit of flint and steel, and maybe a pickaxe, too. Let's just go ahead and grab our pickaxe of the core, a bucket, and let's get down here for some water. All right, infinite water source. Let's go ahead and set the pot to boil, light this, and then seal it off. And that should be good. That should be good. I think that this will get the water boiling pretty promptly. And so now we just need to make our Brew of Flowing Spirit. Let's see, so Spanish moss, water artichoke, mandrake root, wool of bat, and fanciful thread. Fortunately, we can just request this right out of our system. Spanish moss, which we have plenty of because we made an automatic system for crafting it in a live stream. Mandrake, which we have lots of, but we don't have an automatic harvester for. I should work on that. Fanciful thread, which we just made 2 of. And, well, what was the other things? Glow, wool, and water artichoke. All right, we've got an excellent source of water. We've got an excellent source of everything. We've got everything we need. We've got our bottles, so let's just go ahead and start tossing in ingredients. We need to toss in our glintweed, which never arrived, interestingly enough. It's really pretty here. All right, well, let's get started with our brew. Now we have everything. So we need a Spanish moss, fanciful thread, glintweed, and then mandrake and wool of bat, and a water artichoke. Making a potion for the first time is always so nerve-wracking. Okay, well, let's hope we get lucky here. 1, 2. Sadly, we did not get lucky with this, but that's fine. I think if we check, we still have 2 wispy cotton over here. Now, you might say, well, Dave, why are you requesting these? Well, the first thing we want to do with this Brew of Flowing Spirit is we want to dig just a little thing. Let's put it right over here. Maybe, how about right out here? This would be good. And we want to start basically a little patch of cotton growing. So if we toss this down right here, now we have Flowing Spirit, which reacts as water for us, so it's not, great. But it also enables the growth of wispy cotton. This is pretty important for us because we definitely don't want to have to keep going hunting for all this stuff. Now, I'm not sure if a flowing block counts, so we're just going to have to experiment and see. As you can see, it goes pretty far. So, and we can just go out here, make a little bit more room just in case it wants it. But yeah, so now that we've got a Brew of Flowing Spirit, we can actually start to experiment with some other stuff. In particular, we can also use this to make some dream catchers, and with a little bit more of it, we can make a bark belt, which is something I've been working on for a while in the live streams. We can also use it to make the condensed fear we need for undead summoning. So why don't we think about that? This may take a little while to grow. All right, folks, by bringing in a Sigil of the Green Grove and a little bit of Mutandis, I've managed to basically start super fast growing this cotton. And I've got, you can see, 18 now, and they just grow really fast with the Sigil of the Green Grove. Now, we wouldn't be able to do this if not for blood magic being interdimensional, so we kind of lucked out there. I also brought over something I prepared earlier, which is a spinning wheel. I suspect that if I do this right, I think maybe I can do this in the real world. I don't have to do this in the spirit world, but I may have to go back at least one more time to make an altar. I think that that's what that icon means, so I may actually have to have an altar in the spirit world as well. Which is unfortunate because I was sort of hoping to save up on brews of sleeping. I'm kind of already low on them, and I don't want to spend too much time brewing that stuff. But at the very least, we could do this one more time. So as you can see, things are going along really quite nicely over here. Let me just go ahead and harvest a little bit of this stuff so that there's not too many lying around cluttering each other up. Put down one more over here. And let's go back over because we can also do a quick improvement to our house, and then we'll use one more brew of sleep once we have everything we need for an altar. Let me show you one more thing we can do. We'll just wake up in our bed. Now, unfortunately, we wake up here just because of the nature of Minecraft, but you'll notice that our wispy cotton and our brews of flowing spirit are still in our inventory. That's good. Whoa, we can jump really high again. Okay. What we need to do is get downstairs back to our bedroom. And in this case, we're actually going to improve the chances of us not having a nightmare even further. Now, the way we can do that is by creating a small little river of flowing spirit right over here. So if we go like this, right, and then like this, get rid of these slabs. And, it's going to be a bit ugly. I guess that's sort of okay, though. Well, you know, we'll put one more, we'll get rid of one more right here. What we'd like to do is toss down both of these brews of flowing spirit. Well, actually, no, you know, just one will do. There we go. Now we have flowing spirit in the overworld. Let's request some dirt. Hello, Ebony Killar. My coven, by the way, is now size 4. I actually have 4. I've been starting to do the witches that require demon hearts. Most of them are just like, oh, kill something for me. And I'm like, okay. There we go. So now the wispy cotton can be planted here next to flowing spirit. If I sleep on this bed here, my chances of having a nightmare are extremely low. So this is about as good as we can get. We could do another Dreamweaver of Nightmares, I think, and we might, but they're actually quite expensive because the tormented twine that you get there can only be harvested in nightmares, and you can sort of, it's difficult to replenish. Let's go ahead and get this going. So we just need to grab these, and we can finally make something that I've been working on for a while. Once we go ahead and brew a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is finish up this part of the job, and then pop back into the spirit world and make and make a few more of these brews because we need a few more. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take in the live streams I've been working diligently but constantly interrupted on my progress to make a bark belt. And as you can see, I actually have a biting belt right here. A biting belt is a really cool thing. What it does is it, let me just show you the recipes. A biting belt can be fed potions. It's made off of mutating parasitic lice, which is a pretty interesting mutation of silverfish, along with imbued leather and a mellifluous hunger, which I managed to get by defeating one of my nightmares. Which was funny because it was actually kind of hard to do. The spirit world is pretty abusive, and nightmares without the right charms, they're very hard to kill. Anyways, if you craft it with potions, it can reflect those potions on the people who hit you. I have plenty of effects that hurt people who hurt me. So what I actually want to do is make this bark belt. We need 4 brews of flowing spirit, but we do have 2 ant twigs. We do have another creeper heart or 2. And so we're almost to the point where we can make that. What I'd also like to do is make ruby slippers. I haven't been using the teleportation functionality of... the teleportation functionality of Witchery very much, just because I sort of have had such great mobility, but I'd like to start using it more. The ruby slippers will actually make it a little bit easier to make, so I'm kind of excited about that. So we're going to make both of those next in part of our quest to master necromancy and witchery. We'll also imbue that armor, but I'll do that off camera because I know that everybody's sort of bored of watching imbued armor. So, with our new fanciful threads in tow, let's head back to the spirit world, and I am going to finish up brewing those potions. We then may do some improvements in the future for the spirit world. I haven't decided yet. I would like to actually have a real base there because I feel like it's a very, very good place to set up certain things because it's so safe. So I was thinking perhaps that's where we could hide our blood magic altar, which is a problem I've been trying to solve for a while now. All right, friends, well, I'm back. And so I think it's about time that I go ahead and make this belt. I've got an altar set up in the spirit world, a bunch of other things. In fact, I think I'm going to knock this off. Technically, we have mastered what we need to master of the spirit world. Now, that's not to say that we don't have more to do there, but it is to say that we've pretty much done what we need to do there for now. Like all the important game-related things. Wow, I really can't leave that like that. Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and do some of the things we want to do? So if you look, I have made a lot of Brews of Flowing Spirit. That ritual, or the Sigil of the Green Grove, really is fantastic. And I want to get some blood magic rituals there so we can just grow and automatically harvest wispy cotton and have an effectively infinite amount of it. Pretty good that way. Now, what we were going to make was a few things. One, we are going to work on making our bark belt. So let's go ahead and make that now and check it out. This is a very interesting piece of armor. Where is it? There we are. That basically provides even more mitigation. So let's see. Yep, we have everything we need to just request it straight in, which is fantastic. Feels really good to have all this stuff. This is a major accomplishment in Witchery, and it's not to be taken lightly. Not that I'm tooting my own horn or anything, I'm just saying a lot of people don't get this far because it's a lot of work to do what we just did. So let's go ahead and pop this on. Now, we have to take our boots off, but we'll see that if we hop outside... oh yeah, we're only running at extremely fast speed now, not ludicrous speed. I kind of am getting used to this. Friends, go ahead and leave in the comments if you're curious. I've been thinking that maybe I should change my affinity. You can tell me if you think that's reasonable or not. Oh. Oh. Things are happening to my body. So as you can see, I have grown a whole bunch of wood on my body. It looks a little strange, actually, but it's also cool. Like, so basically now, I am now a ant. I'm just walking around with nature itself as my guard. This is extra life above and beyond what I've already got with the life ward. So with this and the life ward, I actually have 2 extra life bars. Oh, life ward gives you a little bit more. I'm just looking for something maybe I can aggro and fight with. Because if there's a spider around or something like that. How about we just grab a redstone torch? We'll be fine. And let's go ahead and touch off one of these. Huh. Well, explosion damage doesn't quite do... Wow, this is a bigger crater than I thought it would be. You always forget that it's the sheer malice. Let's just hop down here and see if we can find anything. Ooh. Well, that's right, we're not wearing our super armor. Maybe this was an ill-considered venture. Let me see if I can find something. I cast a ritual to make it night. Let's take off our necromancer robes. And let's just take off our hats. There's no real reason to keep this. And let's hop down and see what happens here. Hey, everybody. So you notice that one of the things popped off, and sticks are flying off. So basically, the bark belt uses the power of nature to deflect physical damage, and it regrows by standing on top of wild things. So let's quickly get this back on. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like we're not going to de-aggro. But I'm a necromancer. Don't you know? Looks like once they aggro to you, it doesn't really matter anymore. All right. We definitely need to make some sort of enchantment. Wow, there's arrows way up there. Definitely need to make some sort of enchantment factory next so that we can put repair on these things. A Thaumcraft enchant that automatically repairs armor. I'm sort of tired of repairing these things, and they're valuable enough that I definitely don't want to let them break. We can also set up a special type of poppet, which is called a armor protection poppet. We can also get tool protection poppets, and those will prevent items from breaking and, in fact, fully repair them when they break in your inventory. So that's probably something we'll be investing in soon. Let's go ahead and toss this on. Now, one thing is I need to get slightly better footwear. This footwear is okay, but in fact is really sort of lackluster. It has okay, well, a little bit of lag there. This footwear is a little bit lackluster because it doesn't really have any magical powers beyond the infusion, which every piece of armor can get. So that's just sort of unimpressive, right? We don't really care that much about that. What we'd like to do instead is maybe make something that gives us some powers. Now, Witchery has icy slippers. I lost those in the great fight with the horrifying life elemental with Ridgedog. I could remake those, but honestly, they were kind of annoying. There's also seeping shoes, right? And these are really neat. So they're actually pretty easy to make. In fact, I think I may have everything I need in hand to make these just right off the bat. Let me see. Yes, as a matter of fact, I have everything I need offhand. It's almost like I planned it that way, but I have been stockpiling redstone soups so that when I need it on a whim or when I'm recording, when I'm live streaming, I just have it. Let's see here. Oh, we do need to get rid of... We were missing 1 bucket of milk. Did it pop out somewhere, or... Yeah. A little bit full, because this is a big recipe with lots of things that don't stack. Let's go ahead and clear that out. Seeping shoes. If you're standing on grass, it removes poison effects. But we can already get access to that effect, and in fact, superior effects with our Charm of Remedium, and also the Dispel on our mage leggings, which we can easily put on that bark belt, by the way. So if we take a look at how these are used, we can see that, in fact, we can upgrade this again. Now, I think I have all the golden thread I need. Let me see. If not, that's easy enough to make. We have 1 golden thread. We need 1 more. Let's make the golden thread. It's really simple. What we need to make golden thread is a hay bale. Just a hay bale and a whiff of magic and a spinning wheel that's powered. And that'll go ahead and make us our other thread. Now, one other thing that we're going to need to start making is basically we're making ruby slippers. Ruby slippers have some really cool properties. I'll show you more in a second. But one thing they can do, if you look, is they can be used to teleport to bound waystones. Waystones are generally really cheap, but they require something that's kind of a pain because it's not super renewable. Bone needle for flint. Flint is only really usable, like makeable, by processing in a bunch of different machines. Gravel. Gravel is renewable, so we do have pulverizers, so we can probably start using that and make a flint factory, because we're going to be going through quite a bit. All right, so there we have 3 of them. Let's go back downstairs after putting this away and go ahead and grab these. Now, I'm excited to free up the rest of my mage armor, because I'm actually going to devote that to a full-time set of armor for the spirit world, as it's, you know, there just isn't that much that's difficult to do in the spirit world. So let's go ahead and make these ruby slippers now. Should be simple enough. And we're missing seeping shoes. Let's toss those in. Now, it'll take a moment for this to happen because we're actually going to have to craft all these attuned stones. I'm thinking that maybe what I need to do is automate the creation of charged attuned stones. I think that could be a pretty cool trick. But anyways, like I was saying earlier, folks, one thing I'd really like to know is this lightning affinity makes me move really fast, and it makes me counterattack with lightning bolts. But it is actually kind of an awkward affinity. I'm curious if you think that maybe I should try Arcane or Ender affinity, and that might work as well. Now, or Nature affinity was also something the live stream came up with. I'm perfectly happy to stick with the lightning thing, and all the amazing fan art that's been coming out. Oh man, I don't want to mess with that at all. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop using lightning. It's just that lightning is my preferred spell element and everything. But I thought I would just, mention it, and we could have a conversation about it. All right, here we go. Let's put on the ruby slippers. They are bright red, which looks a little weird with our color scheme. And unfortunately, they're not dyeable. So that is sort of a minus against them. But let's make let's go back downstairs and make a waystone. Oh, before we do that, though, let's run over here. Fortunately, we still have step up. And toss this in and get our slippers off. Let's get these on and get these charged up with haste immediately. All right, friends, before we go, because I think we're running a little long this episode, why don't we really quick decide on how we're going to use these slippers? What's a good example to show them off? Because we can't make something and then just ignore it. How about we bind a waystone over to Bebop's base and then try it? Should be fun. Let's go up here, and then we'll just fly over to Bebop's base. Right, here we are. Let's just see if we can find that Mad Robot's missile room. So here is the command room. Supposedly the missile room is 1 level up and kind of hidden. So let's see here. Is there something interesting in here? No. How about right up here? Aha. here we are. An interesting little room. I don't think we quite have the room to do what we want in here. Right here, everything looks good. So this is a circle talisman. You can use it to rapidly put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right about here should work just fine. There we go. Let's go ahead and leave a calling card. Now the way that we bind waystones is we have to use a little bit of, let's see, we have to use a tombstone. So we have to charge it and then bind a waystone. We need wood ash, ender dew, a waystone, and then a tombstone. So I think we just need wood ash and ender dew, which I've been cooking up. All you have to do is just distill ender pearls. It's actually, for us, a pretty nice source of whiffs of magic. So I may continue to use that as that method, because each ender pearl becomes one whiff of magic, which for most people would be a pretty raw deal, but for me is actually a pretty good deal, because I have croppable ender pearls. Let's toss these in. Ooh, it's a dark and stormy night. And go. So what this is going to do is produce a waystone that is bound to this location. Now, that's cool. Normally we would use this, you could use this for all sorts of things. In particular, rituals, rites of transposition, I think they're called. Let's see, here we are. Teleport to the bound waystone. So anybody inside a purple circle of chalk, any entities or people will be teleported to this location, even if we were to break this circle. But we're not going to break the circle. We're going to leave this circle here. Now, I can, of course, teleport home, like so. We're using recall. Now, let's go ahead and if we toss this on the floor and then we chant, there's no place like home, we are teleported back here through the power of our ruby slippers, which is on a cooldown. So we can't do it constantly, but it is a way for us to teleport around to waystones without having to deal with the consequences of laying down magical circles, which can get expensive. We could rebind this, by the way, back up into the circle, but again, I think we're going to leave it here for now. We want him to know that we were here. We want to be just a little bit worried about why this ritual is here, even though in this case it was utterly benign. Well then, I think there's one other thing it can do. If we chant, there's no place like home, we need to, well, nothing happens. We need to wait 29 minutes, so it looks like maybe it glitched out there. But it actually, if you don't have a waystone nearby, it won't send you, it won't send you to any particular place. It sends you to your spawn point. So that's pretty good. We'll use that. With that, folks, I think that we're probably going to call this an episode. We'll just leave this here for Bebop. Is it still raining outside? It is. We'll just take the fast way home. So we'll probably begin binding waystones all over the place and make a system to automatically copy waystones, because that's kind of like the next big thing we want to do is auto copy waystones so that we can set it up. So I think we're going to have some witchery automation episodes coming up in our future. But as always, please tell me the stuff you'd like to see. We definitely need to get back at Ridge and Bebop, and I think the way we're going to do that is with necromancy. I think we're going to haunt their base with both poltergeist and specters, especially in small, tight spaces where their power armor won't do very much for them in terms of mobility. I think that's the plan. So that should be fun. Please let me know what you think, though. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and we're evil.